What's up, everyone? Welcome to Cracker. I feel like it's been a while since I've made a video. Got some packages in mail, which is cool, but I figured I'd also throw in a update on what's been going on with lovely old me. Um, but first, I'm going to show the packages because I'm kind of happy with these. I'm pretty pleased. I had ordered this package, comic, let's say, a while ago, apparently almost a month ago, and I never got it. And I contacted the seller, and I told him, I never received the thing. So he was cool. He gave me a full refund right away after, I kept saying, he's like, oh, wait. I shipped it. All my other stuff was delivered. I don't know why yours wasn't. And so I went through that for like almost a month, and I told him I never got it. So, then I was getting pissed. But then it's funny how, sometimes they say things happen for a reason, I guess, but, who knows? The comic gods were looking at me, I guess, and said, hey, you know what, you're going to get a better deal. So, I went on eBay. I was telling my fiance, I was like, I kind of wanted this book because I just thought the cover was awesome. And also, I want to I'm trying to complete certain sections of Amazing Spider-Man. I figured because completing the entire series of Amazing Spider-Man is going to take, decades, especially when you get towards the single digits. Which I was pissed. I almost got the first Prince of Electro for a good price, and I got outbid by $1.50. But anyway, with this book, it was my original thing. It was $6, and then $3 shipping, so $9 altogether. And I told my fiance I wanted the book. I was like, and then I went back on eBay and I looked for it, and I found this other seller that was selling them, and I got a pretty damn good deal on this. I got this is the book I originally used to get, Amazing Spider-Man 287, in very fine condition. Now, this is the one I originally would have gotten for $6, and so $9 with the shipping. But I not only got this, I got Amazing Spider-Man 203, I think that's the one, yep, in very fine condition. With this as a bundle thing, kind of pack, and I got it for $1 a piece. So $2 and $3 shipping. So for $5, I got the book I was actually looking for both these books, and this is usually expensive, like $7 or $8 usually. So I got 2 books for less than the price of this original one that I would have had. So that's cool, very cool. Now, on to the house and another package. I'm going to show you this. Kind of puts it into perspective, I guess. I was talking to my fiance about, because we're having a huge problem trying to find a house, especially in our price range, which is a little ridiculous because every time we find one in our price range, the bank that's going to give us our mortgage seems to find something that stops us from getting the house. It's really getting to be not just frustrating, but yesterday we went to look at a house, and it was somewhat of a bad neighborhood, I guess, if you want to get down to it. Even the real estate guy said, it's kind of a bad neighborhood. But that's how desperate we're getting. We looked at this house. It was $62,000 they wanted for it. Now, originally our mortgage thing were approved for $65,000. So we're like, all right, we'd be able to get it even, if we put a bid on it, we get it cheaper, who knows. But, we looked at it. Definitely needed work, that's for sure. But it had the greatest man cave area you could ever imagine. And I was looking at this house, and it was an upstairs thing above the garage that was redone to I guess, technically be like an apartment. I mean, it had a bathroom, didn't have a kitchen or anything. Huge room, and then it had like this other like area, kind of a living room kind of thing, and whatever it was in the bathroom, and huge closet. Now the cool thing also is next to the room, even though it was all like one big kind of thing, it kind of separated by a couple walls, it had an outside balcony that went into a thing, and I was like, oh my god, that's cool. But unfortunately, here's where it gets beyond frustrating. We looked at it, we looked at the whole thing, we figured out what probably would be wrong with it. And the real estate guy said, you would definitely need an estimate on what it would cost to fix it, obviously. But you would also need somebody to inspect it, which is another thing you have to have, and an appraisal. Now, the problem is, we were supposed to be guaranteed $65,000 from this mortgage guy. Then the mortgage guy redoes our numbers and found out that we're guaranteed $85,000. So when we were looking at this house and we found that out, we were like, hey, you know what, we'll it's a bad neighborhood, but we'll get a good alarm system, it's going to help. And I've been showing my fiance how to use weapons, how to train her and that stuff, so at least she's got an idea. She can defend herself, and how to fight, that's another thing. But I mean, I would rather be in a safer neighborhood and have a crappier house, I guess, just for the peace of mind. But we're getting to the point, like I said, where we're desperate. We're looking at anything, and we said to the guy, "Hey, you know what? We'll take it then. You know, we'll put in a bid." And he was saying put in a bid for like 50 grand or something like that. And he's like, "You never know." He's like, "They might take it. If not, then whatever." So we go to do all the paperwork and get everything straightened out, getting ready for all this stuff, and then the loan guy calls us back and says, "Oh, well, this is a renovation property. It's not a traditional whatever it is." And we're like, "Yeah, so what? You know, we know we have to fix it, but if we're getting 85,000, you know, we get it for 60,000 or 62,000, we'd have money to fix it." And he's like, "Oh, well, we can't guarantee you 85 because it's a renovation. You're probably going to get about $30,000." So now that house is pretty much out of the thing. Now, this is why this package actually came in. It's kind of funny. It's awesome because I have to thank my cousin for sending it to me, but it sucks because it's almost like a slap in the face too. Um, Not on his part, just in general. What happened was I was telling my cousin, I was like, if I get this house, I convinced my fiance into make an 80s themed guest room on top of my man cave or whatever it is, and she agreed. She's like, "All right, just don't get too crazy, but do what it is you do to make it look like the 80s." I'm the master of the 80s, I guess. I don't know. But so I told my cousin about it, and we were talking about stuff, and what we could put in there, and what I would do and stuff like that. And he sent me this package, which I'm going to show you because then I'll tell you about the other lovely thing about the house. This is one of his prized possessions, and I never dreamed he would actually give this to me or send it to me or anything. So I'm beyond thankful. This is really, really cool. It's something I'm a very big fan of. I love the show. The A-Team. There you go. Love the A-Team show when I was a kid. Still love it. I have all the DVDs. I even had the A-Team band, but that went downhill. But my cousin had gotten this from. I don't think it was a convention. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know how he got it. I remember he had a photo of him with each one of these guys here, and he had a photo of them signing at this. But this is back in the '80s. He had it done because I remember when I went to his house and I saw. I was like, "Oh my God, that's awesome!" We kept talking about it. He sent me this for my '80s room, an A-Team photo with everybody's signature. That's cool. Even George Papard, who's been long dead. Got Dwight Schultz, Murdoch, Mr. T, Dirk Benedict, which is Face Man. That's cool. So I'm going to thank my cousin, who wants to remain nameless, so I'm not going to say who my cousin is, but I appreciate that. That was really cool. It came in today, and I got it. And that is just, that's awesome, man. I didn't think you'd ever part with that. But yeah, if I get an 80s room now, or make the thing, then that's definitely going to be like center point. Put that right in a nice spot. Going to get it framed and everything. So that's cool. On to another quick thing of business, because I don't want to make these too long because I have problems with this friggin' internet. It won't let me load stuff. That's why you're seeing a lot of things in parts now. Not because of YouTube, but because of the damn internet. The speed I have, it takes 9 hours to load a 10-minute video. But anyway, yeah, the other thing, we're looking at more houses now again, and it's getting beyond frustrating. I actually snapped yesterday, and I just think it's a little ridiculous that the bank, I guess, has to play its games, Oh, 85,000. Oh, well, this is this property. Now we can give you 60,000. Oh, it's this kind of property? Well, we'll give you 30,000. Oh, that's that property? Oh, we'll give you 10,000. Why can't they just give you a flat-out thing? This is what you're getting. End of story. Good luck to you. Oh no, we can't do that, especially with my luck. It has to be fluctuating. So now the problem is I found this real estate guy that I actually think he's pretty cool. I like the guy. He's actually very straightforward. He tells you exactly, the truth about everything, and he's very honest, which is a plus. I said to him, we went to, like I said, we looked at the house, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I talked to him today when I was looking through this website that he gave us that we're supposed to. He told me to look through. He's like, this is all the traditional homes that you would be able to get with your 85,000. That's a guaranteed 85 grand. These are the ones that you'd be able to get. And he's like, just look through them, see if it's something you would like, if it's a commute you can make, stuff like that. And my fiance is kind of iffy because she doesn't want to have a long drive to work, which is understandable. So we were looking for anything that's like 30 minutes to 45 minutes away from where she works. And there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Not anymore, not in our price range. And everything's like over $100,000, $200,000, whatever it is. So I told my fiance, I was like, you're going to have to suck it up and you're going to have to take an hour drive, which is a bitch. Especially if you're working late, because if you leave at 11, you're going to get home at midnight, And I said, but that's where it's coming down to. And she kind of agreed. She's like, all right, what the hell? If you can make it so we're not an hour drive, that's cool. But if we have to do it, then we have to do it. We have no choice. Found a few things that are actually near my future mother-in-law's house at the same town. We're like, oh, that's cool. Almost identical to her house in almost every way, except for kind of short difference here and there. And it was on that website. So I'm like, hey, it's $86,000. Maybe they'll give us a break. We can pay the difference because we have the money to pay the difference. Give it a shot. Talked to the real estate guy today. Said, hey, this is what we found. It was on that website you gave me. It doesn't say anything about renovations. I was like, it looks pretty good. I was like, we've seen the area because my future mother-in-law lives there. I was like, so we know what we're getting into. Is there any way we could take a look at the house? So he calls me back. He calls me back like 5 minutes later and says, oh, well, that's a renovation house. I was like, well, I looked on the website you gave me, and it says it's not a renovation house. He's like, oh, well, it says that it needs something. They worded it differently, and he's like, it might need repairs, so it kind of falls under the renovation, even though it's not flat out telling you it's a renovation house. It needs something, and I'm like. So then he gives us a thing. He's like, oh, well, try this area. He's like, I found one that you might like. Take a look at this one and tell me what you think. Looked at it. Showed my fiance. I said, hey, what do you think of this one? It's 45 minutes away from where you work. She said, perfect. Let's take a look at it. I called him back up today. I said, hey, you know what? We like the thing you told us to look at. Can we take a look at it? He's like, yeah. He's like, but there's one problem with it now. And I said, what? I was like, it's already been taken? He said, no, it's got HOA fees. So apparently if it have HOA fees, we can't get them because we don't qualify for something that covers... oh, God, it's so annoying. So now this one this guy gave us, flat out said, oh, this is the one you could get. It was $80,000. You're approved for $85,000. He's like, you don't even have to negotiate if you don't want to. You could just take it if you like it, and that's the end of it. Now we found out, oh, well, you can't get it because it's got this. Ooh. Now, the other thing that was stupid on my part was I turned around and started getting some stuff because I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to make an 80s room. I was all set for a couple of these houses. I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's get the ball going. I found good deals on certain things. Went ahead and spent like $100, even though I shouldn't have, on my credit card to try to get things that were 80s related that I thought would look cool in the room. Go ahead and I buy them. They're on their way, and now it's no room. And now the fact is it's October 19th. The apartment we live in now has been busting our balls, asking us when we're leaving or if we're staying or not. And they raised our rent to over $1,000, so we can't even afford to stay if we wanted. So there's that. So we have to get out by December something. I think 31st, New Year's Eve. I think we have to be out. And now the other apartment complexes that are around us are almost the exact same amount, and they don't want pets, and they want at least 3 to 4 months in advance before you can move in, which we don't have 3 or 4 months in advance. So that's kind of out. We're screwed with that. We looked at houses to rent because it's a little ridiculous, but none of the houses, the ones that did fall in our price range, none of them want pets, so that's another thing. We have Gizmo, and we wanted to get a dog. So we're pretty screwed if we don't find a house within our price range fast, and it's become personal now. It really has become personal. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to detach myself. I'm like, all right, it didn't work out. But now it's more than a quest. It's more than a search for fire or a search for house kind of thing. Now I'm beyond pissed. Like, there's just... It's come to the point now where I really feel like grabbing these banker people and getting them in a chokehold and crushing their windpipe because it's getting beyond annoying. And I want to just say, pick an amount so we can fucking go ahead and get this shit done. It's stupid now. Anyway, I've rambled enough. Hopefully, sometime soon, I will be able to find something that doesn't have any HOA fees, that falls in our price range, that's not a renovation. No Gizmo picks today, because Gizmo's actually very bad. He chewed through my DVD cable wire and destroyed our cable box. he is definitely appropriately named, so he's not getting screen time until he starts to calm down. But thanks everyone for watching and let me ramble. I feel a little better now. It's kind of funny how that works. It's not the size of your man cave that matters. It's whether or not you have one that makes the difference, I guess. Later, everyone.